The Atlantic Ocean has unleashed Hurricane Erin, the first major storm of the 2025 season, now a powerful Category 4 system. Erin's rapid intensification has stunned meteorologists, transforming from a tropical storm to a major hurricane in record time. Its massive wind field and torrential rains threaten the Caribbean and the entire U.S. East Coast, putting millions on high alert. Communities from San Juan to New England are bracing for impact, tracking every update and preparing for the worst. This is the story of Hurricane Erin, its power, its path, and the urgent steps being taken to protect lives and property. Erin's story began thousands of miles from land, as a disorganized cluster of thunderstorms drifting off the west coast of Africa. These storms, known as tropical waves, are common in the late summer months, but only a few ever become something more. Erin, however, was different from the start. The system found itself in a perfect environment for growth. Warm, deep ocean waters provided a nearly endless supply of energy, while the winds high above remained calm, allowing the storm to organize and strengthen without interference. As Erin moved westward, the Atlantic's surface temperatures were unusually high, acting like fuel poured onto a growing fire. The calm upper-level winds meant there was nothing to tear the storm apart, so every hour Erin grew larger and more powerful. Meteorologists watched in awe as the storm's pressure dropped rapidly, a clear sign of intensification. In just 24 hours, Erin transformed from a modest tropical storm into a monstrous Category 5 hurricane. This process, called rapid intensification, is rare and extremely dangerous because it gives coastal communities little time to react. The storm's winds doubled in speed and its eye became sharply defined, a classic sign of a major hurricane. The sudden escalation caught many off guard. Emergency officials scrambled to issue warnings, and residents rushed to board up windows, gather supplies, and evacuate vulnerable areas. What had seemed like a distant threat was now an immediate crisis, with only hours to prepare. At its peak, Erin's winds reached a staggering 160 miles per hour, making it one of the most powerful storms on record for the region. Eventually, the hurricane underwent an eye wall replacement cycle, a natural process where the inner core is replaced by a new one, causing a slight weakening. Still, Erin remained a massive and dangerous Category 4 storm, with a well-organized structure and a huge, menacing eye. Even as the storm's center stayed offshore, its hurricane-force winds stretched far outward, battering coastlines and churning up dangerous surf. Communities hundreds of miles away felt the effects, with power outages, flooding, and widespread damage possible even without a direct landfall. Erin's explosive growth is a stark reminder of how quickly nature's fury can escalate, especially in a warming world where ocean temperatures are rising. The storm's rapid intensification left little margin for error, underscoring the importance of early preparation and awareness. As meteorologists and emergency teams continue to monitor Erin's every move, one thing is clear: constant vigilance is essential during hurricane season, because the next storm could be just as unpredictable and just as powerful. A Category 4 hurricane like Erin means catastrophic winds up to 140 miles per hour, capable of destroying homes, uprooting trees, and causing weeks-long power outages. The Saffir-Simpson scale helps us grasp the devastation. Category 4 storms reshape coastlines and leave areas uninhabitable. Beyond wind, Erin's storm surge and massive waves threaten severe coastal flooding and deadly rip currents, even far from the eye. Torrential rain brings flash floods and landslides, especially in mountainous regions like Puerto Rico. Understanding these multifaceted threats is crucial for anyone in Erin's path. Preparation and respect for the storm's power can save lives. Category 4 is not just a number, it's a warning. As of August 17, 2025, Hurricane Erin is currently located about 395 miles east of Grand Turk Island, churning over the warm waters of the Atlantic. The storm is moving steadily west-northwest at a speed of 14 miles per hour, maintaining its strength as it approaches the Caribbean region. Meteorologists are closely monitoring Erin's every move, using advanced satellite imagery and computer models to track its progress and predict its future path. The hurricane's position puts it well out to sea for now, but its large size means its effects could be felt far from the center. According to the latest forecast from the National Hurricane Center, Erin's center is expected to pass north of the Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico over the next 24 to 48 hours. This is encouraging news for those islands, as it reduces the risk of a direct landfall. However, it's important to remember that hurricanes are unpredictable, and even a slight shift in Erin's track could bring more severe impacts to these areas. Residents should not let their guard down, as the cone of uncertainty still covers a wide area, and conditions can change rapidly. Erin is a massive storm, with outer rain bands stretching hundreds of miles from its center. Even if the core of the hurricane stays offshore, these outer bands are already bringing periods of heavy rain, gusty winds, and rough surf to parts of the Caribbean. Flooding in low-lying areas and power outages are possible, especially where the rain is heaviest. Residents should be prepared for rapidly changing weather conditions as the storm passes nearby. Forecast models suggest that Erin will begin to turn northward in the coming days, likely sparing the Turks and Caicos and the southeastern Bahamas from a direct hit. However, tropical storm-force winds, heavy rain, and dangerous surf remain possible, especially along exposed coastlines. Local authorities are urging residents to stay vigilant and to follow any evacuation orders or safety advisories that may be issued as the storm approaches. Looking ahead, the long-term track of Hurricane Erin remains uncertain. The U.S. East Coast, particularly areas like the Outer Banks of North Carolina, Long Island in New York, and Cape Cod in Massachusetts, are all within the potential path of the storm. While it's too early to know exactly where Erin will go, residents along the Atlantic coast should begin making preparations now. Securing property, gathering emergency supplies, and reviewing evacuation plans are all important steps to take before the storm gets closer. Even if Hurricane Erin remains offshore and never makes landfall, its powerful winds will generate dangerous surf and life-threatening rip currents all along the eastern seaboard. Beachgoers should heed all warnings and stay out of the water, as conditions can deteriorate quickly. Lifeguard stations may be closed, and red flag warnings are likely to be posted in many areas. Coastal flooding and beach erosion are also possible, especially during high tide. The situation with Hurricane Erin is evolving hour by hour. Everyone in the region, from the Caribbean islands to the U.S. East Coast, should monitor official updates from the National Hurricane Center and local authorities. Stay informed, have a plan, and take action early to protect yourself and your loved ones. Preparation now is critical, as conditions can change quickly with a storm of this size and strength. Erin's reach is already being felt across the Caribbean, as relentless bands of torrential rain sweep over the islands. Streets are quickly turning into rivers, and the sound of thunder echoes through communities that are no strangers to storms, but rarely see them with such intensity. The skies remain a deep, ominous gray, and the air is thick with anticipation and anxiety as residents brace for what's to come. Along the northern Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico, dangerous swells are battering the coastlines. Towering waves crash against seawalls and beaches, sending salt spray high into the air and flooding low-lying areas. The relentless force of the ocean is a stark reminder of nature's power, and coastal communities are on edge as the water continues to rise. Flood watches have been issued across the region, and in the hilly, rain-soaked terrain, landslides are a growing concern. Emergency crews are on standby, monitoring vulnerable slopes and warning residents to stay alert. Roads are already becoming impassable in some areas, and the risk of sudden destructive mudslides is increasing with every passing hour. In the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, the sense of urgency is palpable. Residents are boarding up windows, securing loose objects, and making last-minute runs for supplies. Utility workers are working around the clock to reinforce power lines and prepare for the likelihood of outages. The community spirit is strong, but so is the worry about what the storm might bring. Ports have been closed, halting the flow of goods and travelers. Beaches, usually bustling with life, are now empty and marked with red warning flags. Resort areas, vital to the region's economy, are eerily quiet as tourists evacuate or shelter in place, and local businesses brace for the financial impact of the storm. The fishing industry, another economic lifeline, is at a standstill. Boats are tied up in harbors, nets are packed away, and seafood markets are shuttered. For many families, this pause means uncertainty about their livelihoods in the days and weeks ahead. Erin's powerful waves are not just a local threat, they're reaching as far as the coasts of Hispaniola and Bermuda. The turbulent Atlantic churns with energy, and even distant islands are feeling the effects of the storm's massive footprint. On the U.S. East Coast, authorities are already warning of widespread coastal erosion and flooding. Boardwalks and businesses that line the shore are at risk, and preparations are underway to minimize damage. the economic disruption could be significant, with ripple effects felt far beyond the immediate path of the storm. The impact of a major hurricane like Erin is never confined to a single place. Its effects ripple across borders, affecting millions of lives, disrupting economies, and leaving lasting scars on the landscape. From satellite images to on-the-ground reports, the scale of the threat is clear. This is a regional crisis demanding a united response. In times like these, vigilance and readiness are essential everywhere. Families are checking emergency supplies, listening closely to weather updates, and preparing to take shelter if needed. Across the Caribbean and beyond, communities are coming together, determined to weather the storm and support one another through whatever challenges lie ahead. Across the Caribbean and U.S., coordinated preparations are underway. Puerto Rico has readied hundreds of shelters and pre-positioned FEMA teams, while the Coast Guard has closed key seaports. The Bahamas and Turks and Caicos have activated disaster teams and opened public shelters, urging residents to finalize hurricane plans. Individuals are securing homes, stocking supplies, and reviewing evacuation routes. Listening to official updates and following evacuation orders is critical. These steps aren't just about property, they're about saving lives. Community resilience and preparation make all the difference. The time to act is now. Erin's dangers go beyond wind and flooding. Tornadoes can spin up in the storm's outer bands, causing sudden, localized destruction. Offshore hurricanes can pull dry air inland, increasing wildfire risk in drought-stricken areas. Downed power lines and improper generator use pose deadly electrical and carbon monoxide hazards. Floodwaters hide contamination and sharp debris, making post-storm cleanup perilous. The risks don't end when the storm passes. Staying safe means understanding every threat. Awareness and caution save lives during and after the storm. Hurricane Erin's explosive growth is part of a troubling trend. Warmer oceans, fueled by climate change, are making hurricanes stronger and wetter. Rapid intensification, like Erin's, is happening more often, leaving less time for warnings and evacuations. Warmer air holds more moisture, so storms now dump heavier rains, increasing flood and landslide risks. Rising sea levels mean higher storm surges, pushing floodwaters further inland. While climate change didn't create Erin, it's making storms like this more dangerous. Understanding these links is vital for future preparedness. Stronger storms are the new reality. Despite Erin's threat, hope shines in the resilience of communities and the dedication of first responders and forecasters. For those in the storm's path, vigilance and preparation are your best defense. Listen to officials, follow warnings, and stay safe. Along the U.S. East Coast, use this time to review your hurricane plan and supplies. Information, preparation, and community support are our greatest assets. Stay informed, act early, and help your neighbors. Together, we can weather any storm. Our thoughts are with everyone facing Erin. Stay alert, stay safe, and look out for one another.